Thanks, Eric. Now, firefighters quickly put down a burn that got out of control west of Helena Wednesday afternoon. Fire crews were dispatched to a property on Ferret Road in the Birdseye area around 1:30. Birdseye, Marysville, Fort Harrison, VA, Canyon Creek, West Valley, and DNRC crews responded to the fire. The fire burned about 4 acres before being contained. Birdseye Fire Chief Kyle Sturgill-Simon says fire fuel mitigation is important, but urged people to use caution when burning.
We definitely don't want to discourage that, but if you are going to use fire to burn out ditches or burn fuels on your property, it's really important to make sure you have a water source nearby accessible, hand tools, and then don't be afraid to call us out. We're always here to help. As soon as you think it might be getting out of your control, page us and let us know, and we'll come out.
Property tax relief has been a major goal during this year's Montana legislative session. And yesterday, one lawmaker presented a pair of bills that would ask voters to consider a statewide sales tax to offset property taxes. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian breaks down the proposal.
Republican Representative Brad Barker says Montana's economy has changed, and it's time to ask the public if they'd like to see the state's tax system change along with it.
We've lost mills, we've lost mines, we've lost the revenue associated with that production and extraction of our natural resources. At the same time, we've seen a significant increase in the amount of tourism coming to this state.
Barker is sponsoring House Bill 841 and 842, which both received hearings in the House Taxation Committee on Wednesday. Neither bill would actually implement a sales tax on its own. House Bill 842 would ask voters whether they want the legislature to consider enacting a statewide sales tax of up to 4% and use the revenue to reduce property taxes that fund public schools and universities. It would call for exempting required purchases like housing and groceries. House Bill 841 would propose a constitutional amendment, putting it into the Montana Constitution that any general sales tax could only be used to pay down property taxes, unless 3/4 of the legislature voted otherwise. Those supporting the bill said a sales tax could be another tool to help relieve the property tax burden, and these proposals together could keep guardrails on that tax.
The question is, how do we ensure that the local taxpayer isn't just getting taxed again? And this defines a way of doing that.
Those in opposition warned that a sales tax would have a bigger impact on lower-income Montanans and could make education funding more volatile.
I feel it really does put the voter in a very nasty position of loving their schools and wanting to fund them and feeling this terrible property tax burden and having to make this false choice. We urge the committee to not put the voters in that position.
A constitutional amendment needs 2/3 support in the legislature, while a standard referendum just needs a majority. So it will be a tougher task to get HB 841 onto the ballot than 842. But Barker said it would be hard to make the case for a sales tax to voters if the constitutional amendment doesn't also move forward.
I personally, and I think that most members of the legislature, would not support implementing a sales tax without the protections.
Barker says a full 4% sales tax could raise more than $1 billion a year. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.